Oh man. First off, comedy, I love what you guys are doing on that side. I like what you're doing on your side. You took the same model that was created by DJ Vlad, and it's a nice. I don't want to say counter, but I'll say definitely an alternative way of interviewing in that style of which Vlad, if he did not create it, he is the first one to pioneer it and take it to the next and make it a thing. Like if other dudes did it, he's the one that took it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That style of interview. And I believe he's the only one that I've known that have actually done that. I mean, yeah, there's different versions of it. I mean, interviews are interviews. Let's be for real. But the interview in that style, just a couch, you just hear the voice of the guy, the interviewer, and it's the same type of format. But because these are two different types of companies, comedy hype offers up a very good adjunct. I would say definitely an adjunct and alternative if you enjoy that style of interview, but you want to refresh a different type, a different way of doing that style. Comedy hype is definitely the place to go. And I tip my hat to you guys, man. I look forward to seeing what you guys got coming up ahead. But we gotta talk about Monique. We gotta talk about Monique because, and I'm just like, keep in mind, man, as a grain of salt, I'm just a regular run of the mill Bundy, dig? You know what I'm saying? But I do pay attention, and I'm gonna do a lot of interviews. I mean, a lot of commentary towards some of these interviews, and because I'm new with the YouTube thing, I will definitely leave links. I would love to play chopped clips just so it doesn't seem like I'm taking them out of context. But we'll see. But in any event, I just listened to the Charlamagne clip in referencing how Charlamagne basically was the worst thing to the community. And I may be paraphrasing a bit, but not too much so, because I guarantee I'm not exactly that far off from what she said. That said, now, you're claiming that, and I'm gonna try and make sure I get the typing it in right now just so I can make sure I get the proper headline up. There we go. Monique on Charlamagne the God. He's caused destruction in our community, and she said it several times. Now that's a tall order. And from an elder to play with such rhetoric like that, both you and I think Sydney, Mr. Sydney, your husband, to give him such a charge. I was really waiting for what she was gonna bring up, because I actually really, you know what I thought she would have at least brought up? I thought she would have brought up the charge that he had coming up earlier this year that supposedly was old charges that he had, some assault from years ago, a sexual assault from years ago. You know what I mean? That he was charged for back in his, back some time ago, and there was back and forth discrepancies about it. He actually spoken about it before, but it came back up. And you know, in the climate that we are in today, he was held to the media fire over it. So I thought she was gonna bring that up. Like, you know what they brought up, and Cindy even interjected, and he even said, well, obviously Monique though. It was like, yeah, the only examples you had was he lacked empathy on everything. Okay. You referred to him as people coming to him and bringing him on as an authority. I don't think they bring him on per se as an authority, no more they didn't bring any other celebrity on. At the end of the day, Monique, you're a comedian. We could argue that you are no authority on what everyone else is getting paid and the reasonings why. To suggest that it was based merely on sex, that was very irresponsible. That was very irresponsible with your words. There was a lot more factors that were well to be argued upon. There was way more vectors. And it's something that a gentleman from Grapevine had even brought up, what I thought was a point that really needed to stand out. And the homie from Brooklyn, I forget his name. My cousin watches that show and he likes him. I think his name is Jimmy. Yeah. And he brought it up. He said, no, Monique, you sounded like a worker. Monique, you're a business. You're a walking LLC. People don't hire you to work. They do business with you. And if that wasn't the business you wanted to do, then you were supposed to walk away and do business elsewhere, because you was worth every red cent you said you were. If you want someone to sign you for a certain amount of money that you feel like you know you're worth 10 times over, then set up your own show. And I don't say that with an attitude. I say that to put a foot in their ass about the value of your business. You work for no one. And Jimmy was absolutely right. You are a business. This was the terms of the business. You didn't like the business, you walk away and you do one up. What you were supposed to do is level up the game. Go do your business elsewhere. Sell out a show or two that people couldn't see happen, and come back with them and say, this is the business I'll do with you. Or have them come call you to say, now we into the Monique business. What you were supposed to do was like, no, you was leaning heavily on what you've already done years prior. And you're a show business woman. You know the town is all about what have you done for me lately. It's like saying Arnold Schwarzenegger should be getting paid the same amount based on what he's done in life in his next Terminator movie. I guarantee, no, he's gonna make money because he's actually really attached to the franchise, and I think he earned some money, but he did business. And more important than all of that, The reason why he was able to do business because the film did business. He could only do like, he's not getting major movies like before. They tried it before when on his comeback. It didn't work out exactly the way they wanted to, but no one could even argue him because now there are no more celebrities. So he got to do different business for the time he's in today. You think Arnold Schwarzenegger is getting the same checks as The Rock is? No. So what if you've been doing this longer than The Rock? You're old. And the people that know who you really are older now. And they ain't got the time to go and invest in you the way they would have back before. But they still would invest in you. That's the reason why you can still get a movie off. You still in a good space. Like Monique is in one of those spaces with respect to her business. Like she can go out and do a couple of things and get some paper. Monique can is gonna make like $1 million, make 7 figures a year. And I guarantee on a low day, and that have to be really her not grinding, it'll be 700, which I'm sure you can get. That's still if you living within your means. Now I understand you got bills, but that don't help none. They ain't got nothing to do with other people and their business for you. So you can't keep relying on a certain level of empathy. Empathy does not a business make. There was no empathy for Dave Chappelle. They called him everything else but a child of God when he didn't want to do business with them no more. He almost lost his career. But you know what worked for him? He left on the top of his game, breaking nothing but records and nothing but questions around his coming back. And then how he was doing things, which the funny thing was, I don't think he did that purposely, because I remember when he was popping up in miscellaneous underground comedy spots. He loved comedy. He didn't stop. And he was, I guess, just as good as he was as soon as he left. He just left at the top of his game, so we never got to see him fall off. So when he came back, there were still people who remembering him, and they were on rewatch all his skits. His name kept living on. He broke like records for DVD sales, and he still ain't beat Eddie. Like Eddie is still like I said. I mean, you gotta still understand the value of the work they put in. There's people that's been working in comedy for years. That doesn't mean that they all deserve a special just because of the grind they put in. Now it's fucked up when you got really good ones that fall through the cracks. You know, and sometimes there's a lot of fuckery behind the scenes, and a lot of it could be just unfair. You know what I mean? Or that you wasn't willing to submit to certain terms and prerequisites, and they labeled you something else. And then shit just got rough, and you had to like make decisions. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But to bring it all back, you were supposed to show it to them. And in a way you never did. I've never heard Monique. I haven't heard the Monique special yet. I heard that she flipped up and went to and got residence in not Miami, Las Vegas. Now she's gonna be certified, getting some paper. There's paper to be made out there in Vegas. She's gonna be certified, and then that don't have to stop you from doing other things on the side. I mean, you gotta also remember, you can't curse people out and expect based on empathy they gonna just easily let you walk back in. You pissed off a lot of people, and I'm not saying that You was supposed to pussy for anything you said. Say it, baby. I think you had every right to say what you want. Free country and all that. But that don't mean that you don't deserve to deal with the consequences. That don't make you exempt. You're a mother. This is what you teach your children. There's several ways to play the game. But this empathy thing, that I don't care if it should work. You can't use that as a benchmark for an argument. Not in general, yeah, don't get me wrong, I do think that you should have some sort of empathy, but do you charge that to everyone else? I mean, the best you could come up with for saying he burned down our community? I mean, are you serious? Come on, by that logic, because he's like a shock jock, he borderlines comedy. He's supposed to be for entertainment. I ain't saying he's a stand-up comic, because a stand-up comic and a comedic actor aren't the same. No different than a shock jock. A shock jock is just saying the shocking shit, but not exactly flippantly. There's an art form to it. Because it's the reason why they get to stay on the air. There's a lot of ways they get away with it, and a lot of it is kind of cloaked in. It's a lot of it could be tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? It depends on how you do what you do and your base. But to say that he's destroyed the community, that's why Sydney even had to hear it and try to like dress it up a little bit better and say, well, I'm gonna give him that charge to kind of like insult him. But it was like the best you could come up with was the whole empathy thing. And it was like, oh, come on, brother. Come on, brother. Don't we talk about not tearing, like how they tear the black man down? And you're gonna be doing it flippantly. And don't get me wrong, I get it, it's your wife. You got skin in the game, you close to it, that's the wifey. So on some realness, I'm not gonna stunt like I don't know what it is. And Monique, let's be for real, mama. Like, all you had for me was what he said about you. And that made him that low? That's a little vain. If you ask me, I'd rather you just kept it like personal. Now you're broad stroking his name out to be something, and you had at least the last little thing that he got caught up in, which is something he'd spoken openly about, but there was a lot of things around that. So, and since this is not the nature of that, you just have to like Google it. Maybe I'll do a video on it, because I mean it is something that needs to be discussed. You know what I mean? But I just thought that instead of like going towards his sexual assault case, y'all just said that he lacked empathy. And the best example you had, and the only one you provided, was the Monique interview. I couldn't understand it. You're a comedian. You've roasted people before by name. And you do it through the glow of comedy. You think that didn't hurt someone's feelings? Did you lack empathy? Oh, this wasn't the time and place about empathy. This was the time and place to laugh about certain things. Sometimes empathy has nothing to do with business. And I don't say that because it should never. No, I think that's a very subjective thing, but that will never be something that you should have as a general basis, because then that would explain why you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if the best thing you can come up with to charge that man with that, being destroying the community, the destruction of the community on any kind of level, I think you need to come with something better than him critiquing you and not agreeing with how you handled your business. They always tell you, play the game till you're in such a position that you can't tell people to F off. But you better have what they call it, fuck you money. You was trying to get next to fuck you money and scream to fuck you. It wasn't the time to do that, mama. That's just really what it was. You got mad. I'm not mad at you. And we'll get into like why I really believe. I touched on it a little bit. And if you really felt that it was all about women and you cared about women's rights, why did it? We've never heard you vocal about it till it affected you directly. So don't bring women into this. I'd have rather said, yo, when I seen it and I kind of noticed it, but then I said, let me do some more research. I looked at the controls. I talked to other people. I started looking at their numbers, and I asked other people, what do you judge when you have your metrics by? It's like that girl that people no one talks about, Amy Schumacher. You think she could get a Netflix show for any kind of bread now? No. No one cares about her. They ran her off as a hack. But when she was hitting it, she was selling out. I think she was selling out the Garden, if I'm not mistaken. My cousin said she was like, he's selling out the Garden. I just knew that her name and face was everywhere. She was big. Precious was a prestige film, but a lot of people didn't go see it. And the only reason why people even know you got an Oscar for it is because you've been talking about that the most on this whole tour about it. That because you had an Oscar, you leveled up. It doesn't work all the way like that. It puts you in a good position, so you came from being a comedic actor on like Soul Plane to now getting serious roles you never got before. That was your next level. You was no Margot Robbie. You're an older woman. They can't put you on the same level as Amy Schumacher. Let's just be for real. She's younger than you. You know what I'm saying? And whether you and just by her youth alone, not to say that she's the most attractive, but they could sell that a little bit more than an older woman, period. Let alone an older woman that's not like Angela Bassett. You know what I'm saying? That's not like Salma Hayek, Charlize Theron. We could sell that old. That kind of old, we could move some units. But no offense to you, but you do have, and I think I do believe Monique has a motherly beauty about her. She does. But they're looking for Vogue types of chicks, a different type of beauty. Because that also brings in more people. That wasn't going to happen. Prada could have put Prada clothes on you and sell that. They could do that with Tracy Ellis Ross. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you're known for. So it's not like we could dress you up and try to get some people to just be like, all right, well, you know, put her in some heels. She not, you know what I mean, half that bad. Now, you could make Monique look very nice and elegant, but her energy would bring only an older crowd. You won't bring anybody new in, and that's what they're looking for. Amy Schumacher, she got she's younger, so she has a new look to begin with. So we'll dress her up, put her in some red bottoms. She be alright. like, you know what I mean? We'll put some pieces in that, some fake ass eyelashes, a whole bunch of contour makeup. That's the new thing y'all ladies are doing. And they can do that with that. They'll do that with you, and at best it'll be like, oh, okay, Monique. You know, and all it'll do is make people that remember you take a second glance at you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to say that might not bubble up no bread. Like, you're going to see a little bit of result. But it's not going to be like you take you to a brand new tier. You would have to do something a lot more major. And you was going to have to, like, hit hard with some brand new fresh material and kill. And you might have had to start to work the scene again. And I know you didn't want to do that. But you know what I was supposed to do? Leave all of that on another video, but I had to go vent for a little bit on that, but we'll talk a little bit more on that. But in terms of, but just to wrap it all up back, because this is supposed to be labeled for the Charlamagne part, just be more responsible with your words. Like I said, I mean, I'm all ears if you have more information, darling. Please bring it. Come with it. We need invoices. We need the bill of lading. We need all of it. But if all you got is what happened to you, that is, and you keep talking about what he's done to the community, but the community didn't hit until you got hit with something. Because you didn't jump out for Lil Mama. Did she? Did she talk about it? She might have talked about it, because she might have said something about, yeah, you make that little girl cry. I don't know if that was her or was someone else. Someone came at Charlamagne about that. So I'll be fair, and I'm going to treat it like it was Monique. I can't remember if Monique ever talked about it, but I'm going to give that one up. But like I said, I mean, I've never seen you come at him and charge him with that kind of rhetoric until he just disagreed with you. Like, I listened to it. He just disagreed with you. And you refer to him by his whole government and anything. He don't trip. And he don't even seem like he's disrespectful to you. He's very respectable to you in your presence. And it just seems that all that extra negative energy, I don't know. I mean, it just seems more personal than an objective, well-researched, and very poignant opinion. It's just, you're just chucking up vague words. And I get it. You ain't like, you felt he should have just came to you on all things black. But, I mean, Monique, I mean, we haven't heard you even talk about Eric Garner before. At least I haven't. We haven't heard you talk. I mean, we've never heard you vocal about anything up until it affected you. And that's what I've noticed. And that the best thing you can say that about Charlamagne was his interview with you. And I suggest, and I'm going to go find the links to that and put it below, because you guys got to really listen to that interview. It was not, he stood his ground. He disagreed. And if you heard any other interview with him talking about it, yes. And all about the donkey of the day. Let me get here. But empathy. If you know all the things that they used to do, you'd have empathy. Fuck out of here with that shit. It's called Donkey of the Day. Aren't you a comedian? Isn't that your lane? See, this is why they spent that. They gave you $500,000 as an offer for comedy, baby. This is why. You dig, mama? This is why. Because you couldn't. It's Donkey of the Day is comedic. It's joking, but it's saying some real shit. And it's in the name, Donkey of the Day. It's not saying Donkey of Life. It's just calling out when you made a mistake or not. I think he's made himself Donkey of the Day before. Not for the shit that when he had that incident. I don't think he ever Donkey of the Day himself for that when he came back up. But you couldn't, I don't know, that was just legal shit. You know what I mean? So you gotta, it is what it is. But he's giving Donkey of the Day to people on the show. It's not that deep. Because if he didn't give Kanye Donkey of the Day, what you would have said, he only does it to black women. He does it to everyone. That's just who he is. If that's who he is, and don't get me wrong, there's certain people he chill with that shit. He'll go but so far with certain people. I peep that shit. And that was before the extra money came in. During his Make 'Em Cry days. But that doesn't even matter no more. If you guys could look at all the information and be real with yourself. Look up the interviews with Charlamagne. So what if they disagree? You don't have to agree with his position. I'm not saying that. Listen to anything when he spoke on Monique. He never said nothing that he didn't say to her already. Or try to say if he could get a word in. And that woman was referring to him as Leonard when everybody refers to him as Charlamagne. But I can respect that because she's an elder sister, but that's the air she came in with. So, okay, let's go. Because, you know, on the low, that could be taken as an insult. And then the way she pronounces his name. But maybe, and I think he said that is how you pronounce it, though. But I might, you know what I mean? So I'll give that to her because I want to be fair as I can. And it's been a while since I've seen that interview, too. And I don't want to be like I'm just beating down Monique. But I mean, like I said before, man, these facts are like bullets, and these bullets ain't got no names. You know, we hit dogs holler. Scream at me if hollering ain't enough. All I could say. Let me know what you say. Leave it below. Like, share, subscribe.